good. You know, getting back, starting the week again is always a tough one. But good. Just glad it's over, and now we get to start all over again tomorrow.
Yeah, that's all.
It's
you
the
can
summer though, baby. So
Yeah.
got
Dude,
a lot
that's
of projects.
too hot out there, dog.
It's not even hot yet, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 96 every day.
Dude, it's
gonna
4th of
be
July week. It has to be, bro.
Oh yeah,
It has to
it
be.
has to be. Everybody's gonna be outside.
Yeah.
Hopefully, there's a little breeze.
Yeah, it's gonna be roasting this whole week, but it's gonna start going up tomorrow, and then it just goes up every day.
Guess I'm gonna be staying inside all day. AC blasting.
You guys got your clothes ready for 4th of July?
Clothes?
Usually I do, but
You have the 4th of July
didn't
gear,
get
bro?
any.
What's clothes? Just kidding. That was a
You
naked
don't-
joke, dude.
Why you acting like you ain't patriotic?
It's like I want to be wearing a flag on 4th of July.
No, just a patch. Just one star.
2-star pasties.
God.
Ya van a empezar.
Sorry. But no, I don't really wear anything patriotic like that. I wear my flag in my heart.
Wow, look at you. Or your chonies.
Either one. But it's on there. No, I'm not a big fan of wearing like American flags on like t-shirts and stuff like that. I don't know.
Just a couple stars, you know. I got a shirt that sometimes I rock 4th of July. Just has stars, you know.
Is it just American flag?
No, just I think any flag. Like I don't do like Mexican flag either. Unless like it's a jersey, I guess. You know, or like something that. Nope, just a jersey.
But that's where, that's your pride, man. You from the U.S.
I am though. I'll just show my passport everywhere I go. That's it. But no.
Do you guys typically dress up like actual 4th of July gear or not?
Nah.
I do.
Now,
Yeah.
you
So
do?
I've been off and on. Like there's just years where I'm in it and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be all about it. I'm gonna get shoes. I'm gonna get a shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least
And then
rock
there's
the
some years
colors.
I just don't. It's not gonna happen this year at all. You know what I mean? We are gonna celebrate. We're gonna barbecue. We're gonna do all that good stuff, like the usual. Some illegal fireworks. You know, somewhere in San Jose.
Just make sure they're not in a storage warehouse.
Oh,
Yeah.
snap.
That was all bad.
Yeah. But you know what? That fire didn't start because of the fireworks.
Really?
Yeah. No, the fireworks went off because the fire actually spread. And
Oh.
went
When they got
Oh.
to that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't because of the fireworks.
That's a sucky way to get caught.
For
Absolutely.
real? Yeah. I guess it's on the
because he's
contract.
still
Now
gonna pay for
he's all the
that
blame.
for him
Yeah.
because they're illegal. The fact that it's illegal.
The fire could
fireworks.
have been a little bit more contained, maybe. Who knows?
Damn, dude, that went on for like days. Like just still.
Yeah, like
flames
two days
going.
after, because I was pretty close to it. We all live pretty close
Yeah.
to it. In the morning, like 7 in the morning, I was going to work. It was very smoky outside. Like I smelt it, and I'm like, oh, it has to be that.
Yeah.
Oh man, it sucks for people who are in there. I thought there was this interview on TV of this older man who said that he had his daughter's stuff in there, like her school stuff and stuff like that, and she like recently passed away a few years ago.
Wow.
And so
that's horrible.
He lost all that, so he started getting all teary eyed in the
That's
interview.
horrible.
That's brutal.
Dude, it's bad.
Yeah, that's
So-
horrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, had a lot of sentimental stuff in those stuff, man. So
Yeah, we
Sucks.
at my parents' house, the neighbors in the back, they actually we had a storage in the back. My parents had storage in the back, and then the neighbors in the back, they had like a shed. And I guess come to find out that they had somebody living in there, and they had a stove and everything going on. They left the stove on, lit their storage on fire. Fire jumped over my parents' fence, got into the storage, and burnt down the whole entire storage. And it had same thing, all the sentimental value. My sister's wedding dress, like
Oh.
all our pictures when we were younger, you know, everything just all gone. It all burned down.
That's
Yeah.
Dang.
tragic. Man.
Yep.
that's why. I don't know. There is no that's why. That just sucks. Really.
Yeah,
There's
because I
nothing to
mean,
go
a lot
around
of
that.
people. I don't know if you guys have rented a storage
Yeah.
before. You know, I have. My family has during like market crashes and stuff. We lost our house, we lost everything, and we had to go, move in with my tia for a bit. So we had to move everything into a storage until we can find somewhere to live. Like I think about that. I'm like, everything that, for just moving stuff into the storage and then having to move it out when we finally moved into our new place, we had to get rid of so many stuff. So I feel like I don't really have a lot of like childhood memories with me because we moved so many times and we had to put stuff in storages and then after move things back out. And then obviously you don't want all this trash. So then things are in bags. So then sometimes you're like, oh no, we don't want this. Boom, they just throw it away, But I can just imagine, if that would have happened at that time,
I know.
like losing completely everything, that's crazy.
Yeah. We had a storage at that actual public storage where it happened, actually. When we moved back from LA, we had all our stuff in there. And we literally just took it all out maybe like 6-7 months ago.
Oh.
And then it was just like furniture, like the kids' toys, some clothes, and stuff like that. And then we were like, nah, let's just take this stuff out and just close it out because we don't need it. Right. And then we started giving out all the furniture and stuff like that. So I'm like, dang, we would have kept that there for 6 more months. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of stuff would have been gone. And it was at that same building because I think there's like 2 buildings in there. Yeah. It was at that exact same one where it happened. I was like, yo, all our stuff.
So did the whole thing burn down? Or just...
The whole building, like there's like 2 separate buildings, I think. And then that one particular building. I'm talking like hundreds of storages that were in there. Yeah. Hundreds. So.
Was that a 2-story one? Or was
it 3.
Really?
3 stories, I believe.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dang, that's big then.
Yeah, it was big. I'm telling you, like a lot.
I always think about that. Like even in where I live, like man, if this place caught on fire, and if I was home, obviously, if you're not home, you can't choose what you're gonna. But if you guys were home and you had to choose what obviously the family comes first, but for belongings,
and then the sneakers.
What are y'all taking?
I know both of you guys. You guys are both taking sneakers. I know that.
I can't.
Well, my base would be number 1.
Yeah,
base would be number 1, and then the sneakers for sure.
First thing I would do is I'll make sure I have my wallet or my phone on me. I think that would be the first thing I'll like. Yeah. Make sure it's in my pocket. Yeah. And then go to my closet and either just like cry.
Wait for the house.
No, I just like thinking like this is gonna be gone because I don't have enough hands to take 70 plus shoes out of here.
Right.
So what am I doing? Taking 4 as many as, or have the kids like, all right, kids, you carry 2, and then I'll carry 5, and then but that's it. I'll lose.
I guess if you
have
had
a
like
bag ready and start boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that's probably what you would have to do to try to get it out in a. Yeah. And then it would be tougher because you got little ones. For me, it would be a little bit easier in that the boys, I can be like, yo, I need both of you to be like,
you got a couple more hands.
I don't care what you guys want. Your clothes, taking my stuff first.
Your clothes, 100%. That's absolutely accurate. Like all your clothes are gone. Like you are tasked with taking out all of my shoes. That's it. As many as you can get.
Like all you need is a black shirt, a white shirt, your shorts,
now, unless
and then
the fire started on that side, well then. But if we got time, bro, you took
we
it.
got time.
As long as you don't get the fumes, you're good.
Yeah.
Dang.
Moja, wet a blanket real quick and let's go in.
I'd have to get my camera, the instruments, and then load it up in the car.
Yeah.
And freaking roll it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you have a lot of good stuff, man.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Those are the 3 main things.
Yeah.
I'll come and help you. Forget about my stuff.
Jeez, man.
Nah, I would definitely have to take my laptop because like I code and I have a lot of stuff on there, a lot of memories, pictures, my crypto wallet. Make sure I got that too.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think at my home, I don't know if it's at my home or my dad's home, but I have a little I don't know, a box full of pictures and memories of growing up, and that's really all I really have. So I would love to like keep that at least for memories. Pictures of my mom and my family, my uncles, cousins. Because my mom growing up, she was always taking pictures.
Yeah,
and a lot of some of my uncles and aunts have some pictures, but not the same amount.
For sure.
But that's all I have because I don't have really much anything from like elementary, middle school, and high school. I don't even have a yearbook.
Jeez.
But yeah, so that I would keep that. Yeah.
Nice. I think going back
And
to
my
that-
wife.
I mean, obviously.
You're like, oh,
Yeah,
if I have
my
time.
But,
If I have that-
but she's got her own legs, so
yeah.
She's gonna help me grab my stuff.
God, man. I don't know. I think I would take the kids' stuff too. Just like stuff they did at school. Because I keep all their pictures, like their drawings and stuff like that. Just random drawings they make at home. Just like circles and stuff. I'm like, I'll keep this, put it in a bag or something. But
You know,
that I don't
take
have to
one of your comics that might, you
keep.
know.
All of them. Yeah. Every
Oh well,
single
you
one.
already keep them in.
They're already in a little
So we have like
storage. Yeah.
like pictures like from me when I was younger, and then my brothers and my parents. Obviously, those are like actual photos, but most of all the photos for my boys growing up are all on our phones. You know what I mean? So as long as, like you said, as long as I had my phone on me, I can always get those photos back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remembered I have a lot of USBs, and on Dropbox too. You know, you can't put it, but I do have USBs where I have pictures. So
Gotcha.
and blackmail.
yeah.
God, man. Well, you know, that would be a tough situation to be in. So it sucks to even like sometimes I think about like those people who are going through all that. And I remember driving by the storage one and I see like a bunch of people lined up, like trying to talk to like someone that works there. Like you see their hands in the air, like, oh, like what's going on and this and that. And I'm like, dang, man, those people are just going through it right now.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, but it's also a great time for the community to show up too.
Yeah.
You know, in times of needs for others. I haven't looked much into it, but you know, I don't know if there's like any GoFunds or
I'm sure there
or
is,
any
yeah.
donations. Something.
I think we have
going
someone
on.
that went to
I'm gonna have to
Oak
do
Grove.
some research so I can,
That went to
you know, send some money that way. Because I can't. Because a lot of people sometimes, you know, they're starting off their business or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Agreed.
who knows? So much stuff.
Yeah.
So much reasons to have extra.
But some
storage.
people also are hoarders. And it's like, maybe they should have been gone anyways. Imagine the,
They did
like,
him a favor.
yeah, the spouse is like, I'm glad that happened. I mean, this has been a long time ago.
Yeah, one of my old coworkers, his wife actually posted it, and that's how I found out that they actually had a storage there.
Oh, wow.
And it burnt down, yeah. And it was the same thing, you know, a bunch of the kids' stuff. I think they have like 2 or 3 boys, and yeah, a bunch of their stuff is just, it's all gone. It's all memories now, you know, it's just whatever they got at home, you know, that's it. And so, yeah, she was pretty upset about it, so.
Dang.
But I think we could all agree that no matter what possessions we would have or could potentially lose in the future, none of it would compare to losing a loved one, right?
Absolutely.
So
Oh,
we
of course.
we would all trade in
Absolutely.
all of our stuff happily to keep one of our loved ones alive,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
And I was just thinking about the tragedy with the submarine. When you were saying how people, you know, people lost possessions, but then there's also accidents and things that happen in life where people lose their life, and that's tragic, man.
Absolutely.
Not even kidding, dude.
What
And
other
then,
things make you anxious, bro?
It's like walking out the house without a hat on.
I mean, if I was bald, I'm just kidding.
For those who are not seeing this in video, there's a couple people in this room.
We're starting a GoFundMe page so we can get our surgeries done. So if you guys want to,
Yeah, there you go. No, I mean, I don't know. Just like I mean, like just like stuff that I fear, like with the water or like the ocean, I guess, and like heights give me anxiety.
for sure.
Other things give me anxiety. I was never a big outspoken on anxiety, right? Because I always like hid it. I never told nobody that I ever had anxiety. You know, I suffered for years, and just this last week I had a little mild anxiety. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't know if you guys ever get that feeling of where you feel like you're sick, right? And then like you make a big deal out of it, like, oh God. And then you Google it, like, oh God, I got this. Like that's me, bro. And then like
Health anxiety.
my anxiety just like skyrocketed this past week, and like I had trouble even like eating and stuff like that. And then I would wake up in the middle of the night, and then I don't know if you guys have those 3 a.m.s. Like you're just like, God, my life, you know. And then my
Absolutely.
anxiety is just skyrocketing, and I'm like, God, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm trying to sleep, but I'm over here thinking about like, you know, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
Is that something that normally happens?
Not occasionally, but these past 3 years, I really have suffered with anxiety a lot. Many reasons, personal and I don't know, just
What do you think causes that?
me.
Well, what did you think you had? You say you were Googling your symptoms, no?
Yeah, no.
How far did you go?
But
into
it
your
was
Google search?
more than that. What he just said right now was more than just. He wasn't specifying just that that night, but he said, lately. As
Yeah, for sure. But for the medical one,
Yeah.
I had like this really bad headache for the longest time, and I was like, oh, I have a brain aneurysm.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what I googled, and I was like, oh god.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more you think about it,
yeah, the more
I
you
guess it
believe
stays there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then the moment you stop thinking about it, like, oh, I don't have a headache anymore. It's like gone. You know what I mean? And then some like stuff like that really like gets my anxiety kicking. It doesn't happen often because I keep myself distracted a lot. It's usually when I'm like just sitting there
Yeah.
and doing nothing, and I'm like, oh god, it's coming back. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And at night, it does. I mean, my wife's aware of it, so like, I used to have panic attacks and anxiety attacks like a few years back, and like it would just be in the middle of the night, like I would just like jump off.
When did that start? Like young?
The thing is that I'm really bad at memory, like of my childhood. I
Yeah.
like block it off sometimes, but I feel like it did happen. It's just I didn't know what it was at that point, And I remember like even my teens, I just didn't know. I couldn't identify it. It was just like, oh, I just feel weird. You know what I mean? But I'll get over it. But recently, I mean, knowing what it is, I'm like, oh, this whole time I've had like little anxiety attacks. Like practically half of my life and stuff like that, And but like 3 years ago, it came back like extreme. I'm like, oh, I can't sleep, I can't eat. I will sleep like 3 hours a day. Again, like I would like jump up. You know what I mean? Like breathing and stuff like that. And so
It's not those scary movies you watching?
no, it's not actually. Those bring me peace. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean I don't know what it is, to be quite honest with you, and I'm still trying to figure that out to this day. And
How are you battling that? Like, are you using anything to try to combat those? Like when you have when you're feeling anxious or having thoughts that make you anxious?
Not medically, like like I don't take medication,
Yeah,
stuff like that. Music soothes me a lot.
right on.
I usually play like very mellow, if it's worship music or if it's like, just something very mellow,
Yeah,
instrumentals
a little lo-fi.
that just like,
That's what I listen
Chill
to
me out.
when I'm in the plane because I deal a bit with airplane anxiety as well. So when it's taking off or when it's like kind of swerving, like
straighten out
trying to
or
straighten out,
turning.
turning, whatever. But I just pop up my headphones, put some lo-fi music on, and then like sometimes get a book or something, and then that just chills me. Yeah. But I also dealt a lot with health anxiety, with what you had, and it turned out that I did have something wrong that was with my body, and I was over here thinking like, oh, I have this, I have that, but and I would go to the doctors and they would say like, oh no, like vitamin levels are fine and stuff, but I actually went with a more not just my general doctor, but like specialist. I went like it's called a naturopathic doctor. It's more like a holistic approach. And then found out that I had some stuff that I had to clean up from my body, so that they put me on some supplements, and then just thriving after that. But yeah, for a while I felt just miserable, like I had no energy at all, like to get out of bed, even to work out. Like as soon as I started doing push-ups or lifting weights, just pumping whatever, like I couldn't. Like my body was just felt so fatigued, and at times I still do battle with that. But that's more of like an indicator for me. Like, okay, you got to get back
You gotta
like
more
on
in
healthy
control now.
habits and diets. Have a little bit more in control, and that the anxiety part doesn't come with it now, because for like feeling like super fatigue, and like how you said you had all these bodily symptoms and you just felt sick, right? So I would have that and have anxiety attached to that. Like, man, it's worse. Your mind is just going crazy, you know, running fast, and you're like, no, I'm gonna have this, I'm that. Like, so many times I ended up in the ER, panic attacks, because I thought, oh, for sure it has to be this now. Nope, it was just a panic attack.
Dude.
But
It's terrifying, bro. It is. Because, like, again, like, I get those things. I'm like, God, I'm going to die this year.
Yeah.
My kids are going to have no parent, no father. You know, I'm going to leave. My wife's going to be a widow. Like, things like that go through my mind. I'm like, oh, my God. But I don't know. I mean, I tend to, like, really calm myself down and stuff like that. And for me, I'm a jokester, right? You guys know that. And for me, like, bringing laughter to people, like, soothes me. Like, I just like to make people laugh, and people laugh, and I laugh, and I'm like, okay, life is good. You know, you're good. You're good. You're good.
All right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? And so I have different mechanisms that I use to kind of, I want to say, fully control it.
Yeah.
You know, because there are times where, like, it's just me at 3 a.m, you know? And I'm like, what am I going to do? Wake up my wife and make her laugh or something? Come on, that sounds crazy.
that explains those random calls you would give me just to hear me laugh.
Just to hear you laugh, buddy. You know?
But isn't that true though? Like sometimes, and especially like in men, like we find it hard to kind of, even like if I was going through something and I was calling my boy to actually help myself, I wouldn't present it that way to him. Like, hey, bro, I need you to help me, because I don't know if it's what it is, if it's just a man thing, a pride thing, because I'm a man, that I don't want to specifically ask for help. I just want to do something that causes you to help me, right?
Yeah.
Without telling you to actually help me.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of men do that. We hide some of the things that's ailing us, either mentally, emotionally, and just try to get far enough along for enough people to either make your day good and be like, okay, I can get through at least today. Yeah. And then move on, you know. And it's tough to live like that, but I mean, it's sometimes the way we're wired as men to just be like, no, we gotta truck along regardless, even if and I'm saying this because I've been there, same like you guys, at night, and usually between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. and I'm just up, and I was like literally convinced, like, okay, this is it, like it's a wrap. You know, I don't think I'm gonna live past the night. I'm literally sweating, like my arms were sweating, legs are sweating. I woke up and the blanket was wet from the amount of sweat that I was just coming, and I was like, dude, it's over. My heart was going doom doom doom. I didn't go to the doctors. I was just like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna die right here in the living room. And because I got up out of my bed and I went to the living room, I just stayed there, you know, from like 2 to 5, and I was up. But I just got past it, and then I slept for an hour, got up at 6, went to worked 12 hours, and you know, and I just didn't make anything bigger than that. And I didn't go to the doctors. I didn't even, some days I told my wife, sometimes I didn't even bother, because I just felt like she's just going to hear me like whining again. And she's just going to be like, bro, you're okay. You know? And sometimes I didn't want to hear that. Sometimes I wanted the sympathy, but I didn't want to let her know that, you know? And so it's weird. Sometimes being a man in that situation is just it's a very tricky thing. And when our pride gets involved and we're actually anxious about something, and then trying to convince yourself to allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to ask for the help, it's so hard sometimes for us, man.
I think it also has to do a lot with our culture too, right? And we're like, Latinos tend to like be more like, oh, you're fine, man, you're good, you're not. What's depression? What's anxiety? No, you're good. You know what I mean? Just get to work, you know, go do something, go wash the dishes, go clean the house. Or you're bored, you have anxiety, or you're lazy, go do this. You know what I mean? And so I think growing up as kids, that's how we dealt with it. Like, all right, cool. And then now I feel like what we do is we get distracted by stuff. Yeah. So we start doing stuff. Like for me, like sometimes when I get throughout the day, I'm like, I'm gonna go clean my house. I do the dishes, I do laundry, you know, stuff like that, and like just to distract me from that, because I think that's how I was wired. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like why you, like when you're younger, like, oh, why you feel like that? Oh, you're being lazy. Go do something. You know,
that's like I would say like the fastest solution, like approach to your problems, especially if you don't have the health care or the money to go and see a doctor, go get checked up and see what really is wrong with your body, or mental doctor. You checking out for your mental health, right? It's like, no, just go out and do something. Y de volada, you just forget about it, and boom, on to the
next.
Carry on with your day.
sure.
You know,
Yeah.
like there's no time to waste. You know, there's a lot of things to do, but yeah, that's one thing that I think I see in Latino households. That, I mean, and growing up, you know, there wasn't really Google, so we couldn't search our
Exactly.
symptoms, you know, like we just had like, oh, mama, you know, me duele el estómago, and then
Yeah.
just give you like 7-Up and
Yep.
what else?
Coke.
Yeah.
Rub some
Coca-Cola.
Vaporu on your upper lip.
Some Coke. My mom used to do Coca-Cola, and she used to get like the avocado. What is that? Is it a seed?
The pit.
And then just like crush it and then put it in the Coke, and they used to drink it. And it's supposed to like clear you out, because she thought I had like, you know, diarrhea or something. But I was like, nah. Now that I think about it, like, no, I probably anxious.
That's why he believes in witchcraft.
You know what I mean?
Right? Like, wait.
I didn't get an egg, dog.
There's an avocado plant growing inside of you right now. They
Don't
say it
do that,
takes
dude. My anxiety's gonna go
avocado
off the roof
trees.
now.
Avocado trees take like between like 7 to 10 years to fully grow
It's
out.
growing right now.
That's why you had that little
Google
growth
that real
spurt. I knew it.
Dog. That was a low blow, bro.
Pues, ¿quién te manda a comerte aguacates?
What am I supposed to say no to my mom? Nah. She made me drink it.
Well, I hope you ate the avocado. Put in a little nice guacamole or
Toast.
something, you know?
Nah, no avocado toast back then.
There's no avocado toast.
Yo,
Or maybe
man.
our parents invented it before. It
Maybe.
became a star
Yeah.
thing.
Exactly. But
Before everyone became health conscious.
right. Yeah, man. But yeah, I feel like recently I've been struggling with it a lot more often, but not as severe as it used to be. You know, but I don't know. You think to yourself like, oh, like, am I being a good enough father? Am I being a good enough husband? You know what I mean? Like, am I doing enough in the house? Am I providing enough?
Yeah.
You know, things like that, like, go through my mind. I'm like, God, man, and like, I feel like I beat myself down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so again, then the anxiety rockets, like, oh yeah, you aren't doing anything, dude. I mean, you're lazy. You just sit on the couch. You know. So, watching Ted Lasso.
I think
Yeah.
it's healthy to. It can be healthy to have those thoughts, whereas, but it can also be if your only focus is like, oh, I'm just not good enough. I'm not doing good enough. Now, I think you can use those thoughts as reinforcement to not keep you stale and in the same spot, while at the same time not doing the most and being like, I'm trash. Like I'm not good. I'm look at this guy and this guy and this guy. And then you start comparisons, and then everyone makes more money than you. Everyone has a better relationship with you. Everyone's kids are nicer than yours, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Just as examples.
Of course.
And so I think we can use those thoughts to a certain extent as healthy motivators, but then if our only focus is like, I'm just not good enough, then that's going to easily turn around to like, oh, well, I'm the worst husband. I'm a terrible dad. I'm a terrible friend. Right. So, but how do we know, you know, like how do we know where to stop? Like, it's okay to question or have those things. And then at what point do we say, okay, focus and switch the focus to, wait a minute. So what have I done? You know, what are the things I have accomplished? And I think if we do that, then we might see, well, dang, I actually have done a lot. When I sometimes used to have those thoughts, and my wife would be like, bro, like, stop, man. You don't know how good of a dad that you have been to your boy. She's like, these boys, Mara, she's like, they would literally run through walls for you if you tell them to.
I believe that. I believe that. Yeah.
And she's like, and it's like, and then if you even go like back and like you take it where you came from and all the improvements that you said, oh, you know what? I'm going to take all the positive stuff that I learned, but then I'm going to do one up and I'm going to get better and I'm going to do all these things for my boys that maybe I wish I had. in their age. And when I look at it and when I refocus my thoughts that way, I realize like, dang, I killed it as a dad. I killed it as a dad. And maybe I do wish I could have provided in the money aspect and the monetary aspect a little more. Maybe I should have went to school and tried harder in that area of my life. And not that it's too late, but I'm too lazy to do that. But I ain't going back to school. I'm either moving bricks for El Chapo or, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm figuring out some kind of other side hustle, but I ain't going back to school.
Right here. This is it right here.
Exactly. And here we are. So please fund us.
So we can send Mar to school.
Right. Yeah. So I think if you try your best to just, when you're having those thoughts, to focus on the things that you did do well and the stuff that you killed, and I think you'll surprise yourself. Like, damn, like I'm actually in a, and even that can help you be a motivator or motivated to continue improving
to do more.
the way you are with your wife, your relationship with her, and how you parent your children and yourself. You know, the things that you want to do, if it's your health that you want to focus on, or if it's just you want to learn something new, learn a new skill, whatever it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think, also the to bring up back the pride you talked about, you know, like I think as men, we tend to be very prideful when we start talking about these things, you know, vulnerable things, you know. Mm-hmm. So like for me, for example, when I lived in LA, I was anxiety like crazy. Dog, I was depressed the whole time I lived there, you know. And then like me knowing that had I went through like his anxiety phase, like I could have reached out to him anytime and be like, hey dude, like how'd you do it? But now I was like, I'm not gonna let any other man, you know, know how I'm doing right now. Yeah, I'll just call you, I'll make you laugh, I'll laugh at your laugh, and I'll be smiling again, you know, things like that. And so, you know, I think just...
Yeah, you're definitely a Ted Lasso.
Oh, for sure I am. I think I identify with him a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. That show I identify him with a lot because he's like a goofball, right? But deep down, he's like, he wants to speak to somebody, man. You know, but like I tend to like lack the aspect of opening up to people because I don't like to, I guess, burden somebody else. You know what I mean?
But also, you don't want to look weak, right?
Of course, yeah. I think that's another thing too.
And that's where the pride kicks in, right? You don't want to seem weak. But I think it's very important, and to piggyback off of what Mario was saying was, I think it's very important to nowadays accept what we were told at a certain point, right? Like as men, we got to show, you know, strength.
Yeah.
But I think we're at a point now that we could talk, you know, and like have. I would say like a brothership, you know, and be able to do life together. This is what it is. It's doing life together. You're not doing life alone. And I think as men, we hold a lot of stuff. We hold so much that we kill ourselves, you know? And I'm like, I think that's a real big part of why men, you know, actually die sooner than women because, you know, you're building all this stuff up. You can't share it with people. Good. And you can't just share it with anybody, right? You can't just go to your coworker and be like, hey, I'm having this issue. You got to have a group of men that you trust and you're able to go to and just be like, yo, I have this issue. And they're going to speak life into you. It's not just, oh, you know, make fun of you, whatever. There might be some, but there's going to be like, yo, I love you enough that I'm going to speak life into you. And I think it's very important for us to remember that the cup is always half full, no matter what, you know, no matter what we go through. That's something that I've always lived by. I have it on my back, and it's just, I'm always going to live by that because no matter what, the cup is always going to be half full, you know? And I think if you just change the perspective and you have a team of men that love and speak life into you, I think it's very important, you know? And I say that, I mean, amongst us, you know, like, you know, some of us, it could be anxiety. Some of us could have other issues in our life that, you know, we just can't share, you know? And some of them were like, I'm going to take this to the grave, you know, because I can't share this. But then it's like something that eats you up forever, you know? So that's definitely, you know, I think a different part of anxiety is just kind of anxiety, I think, is kind of something that, kind of comes and goes as life goes on.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's very important to, have a group of men, that you could really, really do life with,
Yeah.
And that's why I have you guys.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I'm over here. I'm
Yes,
opening up.
sir.
Like I never would do. I mean, before my friends, like when I was younger, my high school friends and stuff like that. Like I wasn't gonna open up to anybody. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
of course.
Because we were all just trying to have fun.
He would open up, but he would do it through his poetry because he was trying to be an artist.
I was a
music
poet.
artist.
I was a songwriter, and I used to write everybody's songs so they can give to their girls. And like I would like just take the credit, guys. All right, you wrote this,
Yeah.
okay? Heras, his ex girls. I'm like, here, man, just give them this, and then he'd be like,
I
dude, they
think it
love
worked.
them.
I think
man.
it worked once.
They love them. You know what I mean?
Wait, who was doing the singing? Though? 'Cause I knew it-
No, it was just
That might be
poetry.
a deal
You
breaker.
write it, you sing it, you play the guitar, you do everything.
It was
bro.
just poetry,
Just
though.
Say it was me.
But yeah, I mean, again, like writing back then was a big thing for me. I stopped doing it for. I don't do that anymore. You know what I mean? I'm still romantic at heart, but I started taking other things. So, but that's why I have you guys, and I'm able to open up here, and I'm being able to be vulnerable and burden you guys with my issues.
Yeah.
But where do you think, just for everybody here, those intrusive thoughts of I'm not good enough? Where do you think that comes from?
Comparison.
Absolutely.
Comparison.
Yeah.
For me, I think that's for when I have those thoughts, that's probably one of the roots of where that comes from, of not feeling good enough or being good enough. It's from making the mistake of comparing what I have with even some of my close friends and being like, damn, like where did I fail? Like I should have made some better decisions so that I could have more. But then we probably equate having more with having a good life, and I think that's where we fail ourselves, to be honest.
Absolutely. That's true. The comparison.
Yeah.
I
think it's so important to have. I mean, it's okay to be super successful. I'm pretty sure if you ask every one of us, would you like to be a millionaire? Every one of us is going to say yes, right? But not if they said, would you like to be a millionaire, but you have to give up one of your kids? It's going to be a no.
Which kids?
I don't have kids.
Which one?
A body part, then. A very important appendage.
We'll pull straws.
You would be less inclined to say yes to that. That's all I'm saying. But I think it's where we focus our stuff, and sometimes it's just so off.
Yeah.
As men, it's like we're comparing to something that someone else that they work so hard to achieve that and get that, and then we get to a point where we're just comparing ourselves, and we don't have that, and what we don't have, but everything that we do have, we could be happy with if you find a level of contentment.
Yeah.
Not to a level of where, okay, I'm so content that I'm not doing nothing, I don't have to improve anymore.
Yeah.
But just to a point where I'm glad, thank God. And you know what? Thank you for the stuff that I do have right now, God. It's very, very important in my belief to really be grateful for everything that God has given every one of us and everything that we have now. Because you get stuck in comparison, then it's just the same as saying it wasn't good enough. God, everything you've given me right now is including, but most importantly, the material things, which are just, they are at the end of it all, they're vain, right?
Come and go. Absolutely.
But I would say comparison, at least for me.
Yeah.
That's
No, I
probably
think
it.
I agree with that too. Just comparing yourself to other people, other families, other men. You know what I'm saying? But then again,
What the model of success
exactly.
looks like
Yeah.
nowadays for a man.
But when you compare yourself, you're comparing yourself to people out in your social media, friends that you follow, or people in your inner circle too.
Ooh.
I would say personally, it's a little bit of everything. I
Yeah.
feel like there are some close friends that I'm like, dang, man, and then there's also people on social media like, dude, they have such a good, fun lifestyle.
Right.
And it's not like I'm obsessed with social media because I don't even be getting on it like that.
Yeah.
But you do see it, and you do see like, you know, men who have like, dude, like they're just flying everywhere, doing all this stuff, and they're able to do all these great things for their kids with that money, right? Because it can be a blessing too, as long as the money is not your God, right? And you can also bless people. But honestly, if we get to a level of contentment, you will always have, right? One thing me and my wife have experienced is like, even with what we have now, we've been really good at stewarding our, like being helpful to a lot of people in our circle, including boys and even other families, like, you know, things I wouldn't normally put out there, but we've helped people, and I'll just say people with even like with, you know, portions of their mortgage or their rent, because, you know, there was a need there, and it's not like we got it like that, but if someone has a need and I can supply it, we're going to do it, you know, regardless. And I think that's what, you know, we should be as not only for me, because I believe in God, and that's one of the things that I feel is good to do, but also just as a human being, it's a good thing. It's a good way to be. And I feel like when we're that way, even if we don't have the excess, I always have food in my refrigerator, clothes in my closet, and gas in my car, you know, and at the end of the day, that is good enough. But I just have to view it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I agree that a lot has to do with comparison, but I also think that there's a lot of people that have maybe grown up or been told that they weren't good enough.
That's very good, man.
And so
at their core,
for sure.
It's I think, you know, growing up in different families and stuff, different households, unfortunately, there's some that live in abuse, you know, and they're being told these things. Fortunately enough, I don't know what that's like, but I do acknowledge the fact that is out there, you know, and I think that still having that system, you know, on being reminded, hey, you are good enough, even though you've been told for so long. And I think that's also something that somebody's going to struggle with, you know, because that's a scar that's been there. They've always been told that, you know, men and women, you know, they, you know, that I'm sure there's many, many, many that we don't even know of that are out there. But I think that's one too.
Yeah. You know, a lot of men, are just, you know, trying to do their best to leave their mark in this world, you know, proving, like they just want to prove themselves, you know, like, oh, I have this, like I can do this, you know, and just leave their mark in this world so everybody can go and acknowledge that, especially if growing up you didn't have that acknowledgement from your parents, you know, they didn't see you and they, you know, basically didn't give you that love, you know. But with you, like I said, I'm acknowledging that I necessarily didn't go through that. I've always been like very loving parents, you know, like didn't go through like verbal abuse or none of that. With me, it's been like with you guys, not so much in comparison, but just in myself, like holding high standards for myself, where it's like I can be doing better. Like I know myself and I can be doing better. Like not that I'm not doing necessarily enough, but what I guess it could be the same, right? If you look at it, but just knowing who I am, like in your identity and just knowing that you can be providing more or just doing more just in like in your career and stuff. Because I mean, sometimes I would feel like that guilt sometimes, like if I was, because I was really just into school and wanted to get my career and everything started, and if I were just kind of chilled back and played video games, you know, hop on somebody else with friends or something, sometimes I would just feel that guilt inside of me, just be like, what are you doing? You know, like you've been playing for 2-3 hours, you got to go back out there, and you know, you gotta. Also, granted, you know, grew up poor, didn't have money, you know, so that also gets ingrained too from your parents, right? Like no, you gotta be working, you know, you gotta be a hustler, you gotta be doing all this stuff. That's why I keep myself pretty occupied too. But the number one thing that helped, well, two. first thing is gratitude, like you were saying, just being completely gratitude with what you do have, and knowing that, okay, yeah, you can be doing a whole lot better, but really acknowledging your accomplishments and everything that you have now. Like I have my wife, and that's it. That's basically like, and I have my family, and anything aside from that, it's in vain, so that just being grateful for every opportunity that comes, for the mistakes that happen, and you learn from that. And also, with everything, not in defeating comparison, is not labeling things as good or bad. Like, oh, this thing happened and this is bad, and then you start feeling shameful, you start feeling these feelings like, I shouldn't be having these feelings because these feelings are bad. But it's not that those feelings are necessarily bad. They're trying to show you something. You probably have some stuff build up, and you need to find healthy ways to be able, not necessarily to cope with them, but to release that. Like you were mentioning, you had all these distractions, and then you just kind of forgot about it, but you still had some resentment there, some feelings there that weren't able to really process, like you said, yeah, you have these childhood memories that you kind of blocked out, and then, like, one time we started talking about it, started letting out some feelings about it. And that's really, as men, what we should be doing more of, is just taking, a step back. And you could be playing video games and be talking about your mental health.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is an avenue. That's something that you can definitely do. There's healthy alternatives out there, but mainly this is it right here, having a good brotherhood, having good men that you can talk to that are going to lift you up as well, with words, with actions, with everything,
Yeah.
And I would say to those who don't currently have a group, because there's some people, and I'm sure either men and women, probably don't feel like, I don't have a group like these guys are talking about. But you can go out there and find one, join a church, find a good place, or, to where you feel like you might find a few good people that you can have in your corner and build a relationship with them. You know what I mean? Or go to a gym and be friendly with a couple of people.
Gym community.
You know what I mean? And then you never know, you might grow a friendship, but it definitely won't happen if you don't at least attempt to do that, right? But and that's mostly for the people who may be feeling like I don't have anybody or a group of friends that I can confide in right now, and maybe that's something, one of the ways or a few ways you can go about changing that for yourself.
Yeah, because it helps definitely with comparing yourself, because if you're more open about it, like now with every accomplishment that you have, like, I'm not going to be jealous at you. I'm going to, like, there's no reason for that. Like, I'm going to be rejoicing with you, like, man, like, I saw you work. I saw how much you had to do to get that, like, we're going to celebrate, we're like, this is your time to shine. It's not about me, and that's where the community is strong, like you said, it can be anything. Like, even if you're into like roller skating, there's people out there that love roller skating. There's a big gaming community now. People that don't know each other, have never met each other before. But they end up being good friends.
My son has done that. He just got to meet his friends that he met in 6th grade over Xbox.
Wow!
What?
And when we went to Vegas, finally after 5 years, they all got to meet in person. They hung out. They spent, now they're definitely lifelong friends. Now all of it. There's like 5 of them. And they went to the mall, they went bowling, they went out to eat together, and but they were friends for 5 years, even before they met each other
awesome.
in person. And they're close. They talk to each other often, almost every day over Xbox, you know. But and then now, of course, they have each other's numbers, so they're FaceTiming each other, all that good stuff too. But it's, I think, like you said, it's to your point, it can be done. Even if it's something as like gaming, you can find real life friends out there just from that.
Yeah, even if you feel like you're weird. Bunch of weirdos out there. Not us.
I don't know.
I mean,
You know, I kind of pride
There's
myself
people
on being
out
a little
there for
weird.
you, and if you're single, there's somebody out there for you as well.
I don't think we would be as close as we were if we weren't a little,
a little weird.
yeah,
A little
like,
off,
you know
a
what?
little
I'm gonna push
sus.
you this salt shaker to the edge of the table. We're definitely at the edge of the table.
See, we're the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm the weird one, and you're the one that calls me. I'm like, all right, dude, chill. You balance me out.
He balances
Yeah.
out.
You balance me out.
It's funny because we were talking about, we're like, dude, if it wasn't for our wives, like, we would be so lost.
Absolutely.
Like, our wives balance us out.
For sure.
Like, it's crazy because, like, we understand each other, the jokes and everything,
Yeah.
and then our wives look at each other like, it's just them being
Yeah,
boys.
yeah.
And I'm like, man, if we had, like, some other wives, man, we would have been in a lot of trouble.
Like, ¿qué haces?
Yeah.
Tu vida. Eso no es chistoso.
Right.
Vámonos. Ya vámonos.
Ya no te juntes con esa chusma.
I do thank God for giving us some patient wives,
Oh,
man,
absolutely.
for sure.
Yes.
We got the right ones.
Oh,
brother,
yeah.
because,
I'm like, it's that perfect balance, man. 'Cause
Yeah.
if not, it'd be off. It'd
Yeah.
be so off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't be married. That's
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
sometimes when this dude calls me and I'm like, can be a little mean with him because I know he can take it.
can handle it.
Likes that tough love.
Yeah.
I know he does, even though he thinks he's a little softy.
No, I'm soft on the inside.
But so then my wife, she hears the conversations that I'm having with him on the phone, and she's like, "Babe, like, why'd you tell him that?" And I'm like,
I do hear her say that. He's like, "Don't be so mean." I'm like, "You was being mean?"
yeah.
I was like, What's mean?" You know what I mean? Nah, I can take it.
Yeah. No, but it's just like it's not like we're mean all the time.
Nah,
too,
we're not rude to
you
each
know?
other.
Like,
Yeah. Sometimes
like, no,
I can.
we have our.
That's just being a boy.
I don't think
Yeah,
I don't think
honestly,
I've ever
like-
really like even cussed at him
Yeah.
either. Like we just don't. We have.
I don't know, man. You threw a water bottle in my face.
That was for other reasons.
right.
That was.
That's recent.
Do tell.
High school soccer. All right, we're playing an important
He also
game.
tried to
Deserved
cripple
it,
you in
that's
a
all I have
recent
to say.
soccer game.
That is
Yeah.
true.
That is
Just
true.
saying.
Dang. Thinking
Yeah.
about it, I might have some resentment.
Yeah, man. This is
I was over here talking healthy, like, nah, I'm good, guys.
maybe there's something in
While
you,
we're at
man.
it, maybe
I think
y'all
you're
need
the
to heal.
reason for my anxiety.
I'm the reason for my own
Why I
anxiety
doubted
too.
myself all this time.
Bro, just put a face to his anxiety.
Wow, man.
For reals.
I guess I don't belong here.
Well, now that I know where it comes from,
We're taking applications now, guys. I'll be gone.
We're gonna have an opening for one. soon.
Jeez, now you guys can't replace me. You'll never replace me.
there it is.
kidding.
There it is.
But no, but yeah, that's where it's at. I'll come out confident at top, anyways. Even though
love
inside
it.
I'm like, I don't feel that way, but I'll front sometimes, just to look a little tough. But going back to that water
Yeah.
bottle, we're playing our rival high school
Pass that,
team.
bro.
We got smacked 3-0. Apparently, he said I wasn't taking the game serious.
Apparently.
I
mean,
thought
we
I
got
was
smacked
playing
3-0.
pretty good.
Nobody-
All right.
Nah.
Game's over. This fool grabs
Everybody
like
was trash.
not even an empty Gatorade water bottle, bro. I'm talking about a full Gatorade water bottle.
I mean, if you're
I'm
gonna
sure I
throw,
took a little sip before I
Alright.
threw it.
This fool just,
want to waste it.
this fool just throws it at me, like hits my chest or something. And I was like, "What is going on?" He's like, "Why are you guys taking this game serious?" And we got smacked out there, obviously using different language.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh, dude, chill, man."
So was he like?
Just
But
the
see,
game.
God.
was
but-
he like, honey? Why didn't you give your best effort?
I was playing
Wasn't
good.
like that.
let's think about it. What could have you done better?
But see, that game,
He's
me
like,
and you were
everything.
playing this. Yo, we were playing the same side that game. I don't even remember. I think we were playing left back, and I was a left wing. And I don't know. I thought I was doing pretty good runs, man. But
Did you really try that?
every game I tried. Every game.
That's
That
definitely a
game.
lie.
That game.
In the basketball game, 3 games.
See, that's
prior
not.
to the fourth- those 3 games you were not. Trying.
I got nothing again in like Saturday basketball morning.
I know. This guy was setting up weak screens. I'm like, bro.
Yeah,
Give me a soccer ball.
bro. What do you mean
All
you
right.
got nothing to gain? Every game doesn't matter if you're getting paid, bro. I'm in it to win it.
All right, coach. All right, Coach Carter.
Which explains
got
his
it.
torn hammy.
Exactly. Yeah. This guy.
I hate losing. I don't get everything.
But going back to the story, since you want to talk about me.
Oh,
But
let's
now
get
that I'm thinking about it, because I had mentioned that I hold myself to like high standards, and growing up, and that's a perfect example of it. Is like it's unexcusable getting smacked 3-0 at a home game. against our rivals, you know? And that was me. That was like my mentality. I'm like, no, like at least make it a competitive game, something, you know? But that was just me. Like I really wanted to win. I was very, very competitive. And many times in high school and growing up as a teenager, I felt like I always had like this motivation, this drive, but the people around me sometimes in my own head, not that if they really were, but in my own head, I felt didn't share like that same passion. And I say this because even like in high school, like sometimes I would work out at the gym by myself and like soccer dudes weren't there, you know?
Sorry.
You know, Jack in the Box. But I know just many examples, but like that was something that I battled with, like that I thought I was doing the most and others weren't, but maybe they were and I just wasn't seeing it, right? But I wasn't open enough to like talk to them and be like, oh, you know, like what are you guys working on, or like, oh, let's work out together, or something, you know? Like I always wanted to be like independent because I felt like I can do things faster, better by myself if I did it myself, you know? And I thought that was leadership, you know, like not just being better than everyone and just pushing everybody like, no, what the heck are you doing? Like get up, like start running, like start doing more, you know, whether it was in sports, whether it was in like academics, whatever it was, you know? And, but now, you know, looking back at it, I'm like, man, like I just ponder and I think like what could have really been like if I had like a good mentor or somebody tell me like, hey, you're going down this route because you think that's what leadership is, but that's not, you know, really what true leadership is about. You know, it's not just about you gaining everything and not bringing everybody with you,
right?
You know? And that's something that I struggle with a lot, and that in itself was kind of like the core of the anxiety that I went through, because when I was alone and I felt like I couldn't battle this, like I felt like I couldn't turn to anybody because they just weren't going to be able to comprehend what I was going through. And it wasn't until I started opening up to my wife. Back then, you know, she was my girlfriend, but it wasn't really till then I started with her. And then, you know, I started slowly with, you know, with Oscar and everything, and just letting him in on stuff that I was doing to like calm me down and everything.
Because
you know,
we were like, you took out like a piece of ginger from your pocket. Like, what are you doing with that?
Yeah, it was bad. Like I had bad like gastritis and everything. Like my health, like I lost a lot of weight. At one point I was super skinny. But yeah, you know, I think about that and I'm like, man, if I had a good mentor to really show me those leadership skills, I think I would have done better, you know. But like we always think about that, right? Like, oh, if I had these resources that I have now, could have done better. But it's not just thinking about the past. Like now, you know that. Like now, we want to instill that in younger generation.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course.
And another thing that's also very true, because I was almost like you, almost like exactly like you when it came to sports. In my younger, my team hated me because like no one was putting the effort. There wasn't a single person on the team putting the effort that I was putting in, because I just took it so seriously. Like when I say I hated losing, I'm cussing out the coaches, the teammates. I threatened to kill teammates, literally. Like I was that dead serious about it in high school. Like I was just I didn't care in football. I did not care to permanently injure you. Like I was just I played so aggressive. I didn't care even about my own body, but that just came from stuff from my past. Like there was just anger, and that was the way I released it. But competitively, I never wanted to lose. I don't care if I was pencil fighting. I didn't want to lose, period. Right? You know what I mean? I was just that way. And I never felt like the people surrounding me were putting in the same effort. And that even grew, like even when I was, there was a time where we had a band with me and my brothers, and there was so many years where I felt like I was pulling the entire band. Like if I was the one scheduling all the times for rehearsal so I mean that kind of like went with me, and I just felt like a lot of times in my life where I was just like, come on, you guys, like, oh, I'm not gonna make it to band rehearsal, and I'd be getting on them like, bro, you gonna take this serious? Like, you need to show up, bro. Like, and it was just in a lot of things like that. But I think some of that could be true, but I also think that I shouldn't have expected people to put in the same effort or feel the same amount of passion that I feel for something, right? They can have passion, and maybe they were putting in effort, but I just wasn't viewing it because it didn't match mine exactly.
Exactly.
So I devalued their efforts based on it not meeting up with my personal standards.
Got it. See, going back to that, I feel like I regret a lot of that because for me, it was the group of people I was around. Right. My group of people back then, it's like no one took anything really serious. Right. And then now that I'm older and like that passion for like soccer is back for me, like it's like fired up. I look back and I'm like, yo, if I really took this serious, I probably would have done something.
Yeah.
You know, because I was pretty good.
He was alright.
And so, you know, and
You
think
weren't
about
that
it.
good, bro. You let your team go 0-3, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
right?
you should see the stats for that year. I was assisting and scoring. No, but you know, I think going back to that, I really do regret that because one, I don't know, I felt like being a rebel was cool, you know, and then also like, I think I was also, now that I think about it, like rebelling towards like my dad a lot because he was very tough on me when it came to to soccer. And I was like, nah, I don't want to, you know, because I guess he kind of did. I wouldn't say forced, but like he coerced me to like play soccer. He's like, no, because I was doing martial arts before I played soccer. I played soccer at a later age. Kids started at like 5, you know, I started at like 10, you know, and so I was I was new to it, and then I wanted to do other things. It was like, no, because my brother was playing soccer. It's like, no, I'm not doing 2 drives.
Yeah.
You know, like you guys are all gonna do one thing, and then my dad's a big soccer guy. It's like, I want you to play this. I'm like, okay, you know. And so I think that is when it's like I felt like a need to rebel against that type of stuff too. Like, no, like I don't want to do this to begin with, you know. And so, but I mean, I ended up liking it, you know, at the end. But then, like right after high school, like I announced my retirement, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. I told my dad after high school, no more club, nothing.
Yeah.
I'm done, and I did, you know, and somewhat regret it because I'm like, oh, I should have done something with it, man, you know. But going to this, to where I'm at now, is like, hey, if I would have done that, I would have met my wife.
Absolutely.
So all these things happen, you know, and I can either look back at them and regret or like feel bad about myself too, or also just be like, hey, that's just what was supposed to happen. So it may not be the way I want it to be, but you know, it's God's plan, and then his plan's always better than ours because who knows what would have happened, you know, if anything changed, you know. And so, but I'm still glad that Hedda still liked me after that because, you know, he wasn't really supportive of my group of friends, you know. So
It was a learning opportunity.
it was a learning opportunity, you know. And the thing for me too is that I never saw myself as like a leader, you know. Back then, I always wanted to be like included, you know. Like I wanted to do things that other guys that I thought were like the cool guys were doing.
Follower.
I was a follower. I didn't want to say that word, because
the key word is was.
I was, of course. Nah, man. I lead my pack
you're
now.
You're a boss now, bro.
I lead my pack now. You know what I mean? But back then, I wanted to be with those group of people who were doing this, who were getting the girls, who, you know, were like, when you walk into a party, like, oh, like, the party is here. I wanted to be that. Never got to that level because I think deep down inside of me, I was like, that's not who I am.
Yeah.
I don't have like that confidence to be like, yeah, it's me. I was always like the last one to come into the room type of thing, you know. But whenever I see Hera, my like eyes will light up. I'm like, Hera, you're here.
Lollipops and rainbows.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Lots of rainbows. We just saw him.
Lots of rainbows.
me and homie drove to prom together. You know, with our dates.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, don't. That's a story for
that's
another.
a story for another day.
It's a whole different podcast.
You know, so. But I think,
Social Wave After Dark.
yeah, absolutely, Patreon only.
There it is.
Those are for paying customers.
Yes, exactly. Yes, if you want the details, yes.
There
But
you go.
you know, I think
The bait.
learning from all those mistakes and things that I went through and the decisions I made. You know, I wouldn't say mistakes anymore because I feel like those just decisions that I made at that moment.
Yeah.
But it made me learn to be a different person.
Mhm.
You know, now
sure.
I look back, I'm like, what were you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Like, why
I
were
think
you
a lot of
acting
us will
like
say
that?
that.
You
Yeah.
know?
You look, when you look back on your teen years, like you were just you were
Bugs
so
me,
dumb,
bro.
bro.
It bugs
You
because,
were
like,
so dumb.
First of all, I never liked to drink. You know, I was the one like, all right, guys, we're taking shots, right? And I'm like, I'm drinking. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I wanted to fit in.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be like, oh, I got it, you know,
For sure.
MD 2020. Ugh, you know what I mean?
And I think that's kind of where like our friendship started too, right? Because I wasn't into that.
You weren't.
You know, like you know me, you
Yeah.
know.
You had
I
your
wasn't
other
really into
friends.
that, you know. I mean, at one point I did, right? But that was more like peer pressure and, like you said, being trying to be a follower.
Yeah.
But we kind of just bonded more when we found out that we both love music.
Yep.
That you play the guitar and I play the piano.
Wait, what? You play the guitar, bro?
That's something I don't talk about.
You know, he wanted to be a music artist.
That's
He
something I don't
wanted to go to
talk about.
LA and everything.
Yeah.
And then, like, we would practice, like, after school. We
Huh?
would practice,
At
bring
your
my
church?
piano.
Yeah.
And then, we're at your house, right?
Yeah.
And then one time I remember
Yep,
his
I got that.
agent had got us a gig or something. And it was supposed to be like a red carpet kind of event and stuff. And we were like, oh, dang, like, we're all ready for it, practicing. It was like a Camila song.
Fraudster. Scammer.
And yeah, it never happened.
Yeah.
Wait, who was the singer?
This guy.
Yeah.
You sing too?
Yeah.
bro?
I don't. I
He's gonna be
tried.
a bachata artist.
I tried. You know, I loved music. I loved guitar. I loved writing.
Yeah.
I don't talk about that. I don't think anybody knows that, other than like probably Hera.
I do.
I don't even tell my wife my details. Like I
have your first rap saved on my
Do you?
USB drive.
I kind of still know it by memory.
I'm for sure gonna take it. if
Were
there's
you
ever a fire.
beatboxing to his rap?
Nah.
No, he one time I remember I was doing something for work and this guy was writing down this rap as I was talking to somebody and
Yeah.
it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I gotta hear this now, bro.
No.
Once the camera turns off.
Yeah,
Patrons.
absolutely.
You know, man.
We'll give you a little beatbox sesh.
For sure.
The reason why I don't talk about that part of my life is because like there's like trauma in there. You know.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
Oh
gonna
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about
We're
it.
gonna get it out of
We
you.
gonna
Well, the
get it
reason
out.
why I don't talk about it because like it takes me back to that time.
You're not gonna
And I
go
don't
back
like
alone.
feeling
You're not
that.
gonna go back. You're going with the homies, so
Yeah.
you got a bunch of fish hooks pulling
Yeah,
you, reeling you
exactly.
back.
You know
good,
what,
bro.
man? I mean,
We got you.
I took it serious. Like I had an agent manager, right? I don't tell anybody, but I've performed at the LA County Fair, right? I've done other shows. I've done. I don't know if you guys know the Premio de los Radios. Premios los
Oh yeah, I
Radios.
have that recorded too.
I was interviewed about like TV
I'll
stations.
show you guys
and
that.
I've walked red carpet. I've done all that
crazy.
stuff, bro. But it's like, I look back at it and I cringe and I'm like, God, man, why did I even go that route? You know, I was like, I should stick with soccer.
Well, if you were getting gigs, you had to have some level of talent.
Right.
And I mean,
Uh-huh.
I still like guitar. I don't play it anymore as I used
all?
to. I
When
used
was the
to
last time
carry
you
that
touched
thing
a guitar?
everywhere, bro.
Years?
Before my daughter was born, yeah, like
Dang.
Wow.
6 years, yeah.
Wow, that really messed you up, dude.
Yeah. It was a lot. A lot have happened. Like it involved like my parents and like scams and frauds and money and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, this is what this business is. I don't want no part of it. And I legit just like left. You know what I mean? Like I like slept in couches when I was doing that. I was in LA for like a month straight. I couldn't go back home. because I had no money to go back home.
Yeah.
You know, and what ended up happening is I did a show at a club, which I wasn't supposed to because I was still underage, and it was like a 21 and over like club, but I still got in, and the niece of my agent manager guy, she ended up paying for my fare to go back home like a Greyhound.
She said, "Go home."
She's like, "Get out of here," because what happened is like I went back to her house because I was like, it was a crazy night, right? I go back to her house, and then her dad is the one that said, "Let me tell you who this guy really is." And I was like,
Dang.
"Oh, had no idea." And then I go back home. My dad's pissed at me because I've been gone for a month, you know. And then even my dad like starts yelling at me, saying, "This guy took money from me." I'm like, "Oh God, I involved my parents too.
Dang.
Now we're suffering," you know. And so like all that happened, which is why I don't like talking about it, because like it just brings me back to that time. Like, oh dude, like my like ambition took me to that spot, and where like it affected like so many people around me without me wanting to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was fun.
So, as far as your passion,
Yeah.
right? I've never actually heard somebody like share, like basically their passion literally got like swept out of their feet, and
Yeah.
it's over,
Yeah.
you know. And every time you think of even like trying to play again
That
or
comes
sing,
back.
that comes to
Mhm. That comes back. I got rid of my guitars. I sold them. I have one with no strings on it, purposely. You know what I mean?
Did you have any good guitars, like acoustic
Oh,
guitars?
I had great guitars. I had, high-end Yamahas.
Nice.
I had a Navarro. I don't know if you guys know. It's like a flamenco.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Les Paul electric.
Nice.
I know music,
Yeah.
you know, and I know that side, but I don't want to go back to that. You know what I mean?
So I
And
got
it's not
one
because-
question then.
Uh-huh.
When are we starting the band?
Right? It's right here.
We got keys, guitar,
We're all
sax,
musicians.
and bass.
I would need to
only
like,
Maybe for our
we
audience,
only need
we'll play
percussion.
some.
I would need to learn, bro. I would need to learn, bro. Honestly, like sometimes
Bro, we can do a acoustic set.
I go back to, bro, honestly, not gonna lie. Like I think about it, and like one thing is like I learned how to read music partially, not really, but I was always just like I'm an ear guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
You play me the song, I'll give you the rhythm.
I
of
never
it.
learned how to read
do
music.
that.
I never learned.
I never, and I don't, and like, but I know I still know some of my chords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so I got some ladies back in the day too. You know what I mean? With that guitar,
question.
man.
We had to go on tour in my white soccer mom van.
That's it.
It was just more room for the ladies. That's all.
Bro, I'm telling
How
you.
big were these ladies?
The really desperate ones.
Yes, the ones that
Yeah.
are not sober.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Oh, man.
you know, man, yeah, I don't know how we got to this point, but yeah, I loved it for a long time.
That's
man.
really
Well,
cool.
you know
bro.
that we
I'm
won't let
glad
it
to
rest,
know that.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let it rest.
Man, I know, and I mean, I wasn't great, you know, but I had the passion for it. You know what I mean? And I love to play, you know, or just like mimic, you know, chords off songs and like by ear. Just put my headphone on, and I was just like, all right. And then this ear can hear the guitar, and I'm like, okay, it sounds similar. Let me change the chord.
I'm gonna need you to write the song of your life. In 2025, my 25th year anniversary, bro.
God.
Dang.
You know what, dude?
It is.
I'm gonna tell you guys how bad this was, though. You know, when I got married, my goal was to hit up my old music teacher, who lives in San Jose. Great guy. I wasn't like, I want to learn piano because I want to sing to my wife at my wedding.
Oh, that'd be dope.
No, I couldn't do it.
Oh,
That's
You-
how bad it was.
You practiced, you did everything.
No, I never did. I wanted to so bad, but I was like that anxiety of like,
yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Mm.
Because one, I don't want to disappoint.
So you
know?
never included her in that thought.
No, she doesn't know to
'cause
this
she would've
day.
been sorely,
this
sorely
day.
disappointed.
You're welcome.
Sorry. That would have been great. Even though I would have messed up, I would have been good too. I mean, but
Right.
You know,
She
It's
still
okay.
would have
You
loved
guys-
you,
guys
even
got-
if you.
look, Shanice, we're gonna get him back on. We're gonna get him motivated again, and you
Yeah.
got upcoming anniversaries. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And then
Your 5th year anniversary, or right? You guys about
in
to go
2
5?
years, we're going 5 in 2
Um,
years next year.
Yeah.
But you know,
Bro,
2
you're
years,
hitting
we
a
know what's
5 when I
coming.
hit a 25.
That's crazy, huh?
Vamos. Let's
that doesn't
go.
tell our ages, all right?
Nah.
Okay.
You guys
cool.
should celebrate together.
I also wasn't good at playing and singing at the same time. That was one of my
It's tough.
weaknesses. That was one of my weaknesses. I
it's
tried
real
and I was
tough.
like,
Yeah.
I'm
That's one
off
of my
key.
weaknesses too.
Like, I was off key and I'm like, all right, I messed up. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't do that. I need someone next to me to do
For
it.
sure.
Yeah, this is why I had
I feel
Hannah
like
next to me.
guitar is one
Yeah.
of the easier, and piano one of the easier instruments to sing and play with. Just because you can, especially on guitar, where you can just play the rhythm. You
Yeah,
know
of
what I
course.
mean, you don't have to like follow along
Yeah.
like playing lead all the time, right? Because you can just play rhythm. But
I took a bass class once. I love the bass. That's why I'm really big on the bass. I
Yeah.
love the bass. I don't know if I told you this. I just love the bass because it's. I think it's like the spine. It's the spine of the music.
yeah,
It's what it is.
it is.
It's the backbone.
That's a known fact. The drums and bass are the backbone of all music.
Yo, if you hear that bass, I just
You're never
boom,
you're
boom,
never
boom,
gonna
boom.
hear
Oh my God,
any
man.
song with
Love it.
some type of bass and percussion in it.
Yeah.
It's even if it's not an actual bass, they're gonna synth bass into it.
yeah.
Every music in the world, you know what
Yep.
I mean? Like there's gonna be some type of bass and or percussion in
Yep.
it. It just they're the backbone of all
That's why
music.
during worship, I always like the bass is in my ear.
Yeah.
I need to listen to that bass. That's what makes my head bob and like go into rhythm. It's just the bass.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or sometimes Hedda. I try to like listen to him, but I block him off,
Now
man.
when my volume's all the way down.
Because it brings back memories.
I know.
When me and Hedda used to jam, you know? But no, man, it was bad, and so I never really back to it. But I've always been like an artist at heart,
Yeah.
And like when I was doing music, I also took acting classes because it helps you with stage presence. And so like I fell in love with acting. I was like, oh, this is cool. Pretend to be like somebody you're not, which is I do every day because I didn't want to be who I was at that time. So I was like, cool, I can do that. That was also a defense mechanism because I'm
Yeah.
like, shoot, I can
That's
be just
really
a
cool,
random
bro.
person, bro. And like acting is cool too, That's fun. It's more tough to get into. I just tried in LA and God. Yeah.
Ate you up alive.
I'm back. Yay, more trauma. Woohoo. No, but that was the pandemic.
Back,
though. That's
baby.
completely different. That's the pandemic. So that was a completely different thing because I can still do acting if I wanted to. I'm still part of like a casting company out there. I remember when I called that out when I
Not
first got.
casting couch.
Not casting, sorry. That one, they weren't taking applications during the pandemic because unless you were vaccinated. I remember calling Hedda.
Hedda, you got any hidden
I called them
talents, bro?
the time that I got a gig out there for a Kevin Hart show, and I called him. I was like, "Dog,
What?
Yeah.
I got Kevin Hart though. Like it's like I'm in it." And then that next day they call me like, "Oh, we don't need you anymore." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Son, man."
What was the cast?
It was his show, The Real Husbands of Hollywood,
Yeah, Real Husbands.
and I was just gonna be like, just like a background person. I don't know where I was gonna be at, but even
You're
just,
gonna drive a car or something like that.
I was gonna
no?
drive. Yes, I was gonna drive my car. They also needed me with my car, and what ended up happening is the month before I got a crack on my windshield, right? And it spread because it was like the summer, I believe. And I remember they called me. They called me saying they don't need me, right? And I was like, cool, right? And then they called me right after that saying, oh, you know what? We actually will need you on set. So if you just, I'm like, oh yes, I'm back. And then something told me like, call them about the windshield. And I was like, hey, I have a crack on my windshield. Is that gonna be an issue? Let me call you back. Call me back like, sorry, we won't have you on set no more. And I was like, God.
You should have just went and got it fixed.
It was the next day. This was nighttime. It was like around 8 o'clock, 9
Kept
o'clock
feeling
at
your
night.
way in.
God, dude, it
You
was.
shouldn't have said anything. You would have just showed up.
No, that's even worse. You don't want to do that ever. No. That's on a set, But being on set is cool too. I've done some stuff that I don't like to talk about either. I don't like to gloat
I'll
about
tell you
You
all
don't like
about
talking
it.
about nothing.
Right? You don't want to talk about nothing.
When I
Bro,
talk,
you're in a podcast.
I just
You gotta talk about something.
when I talk about like my personal life, like
I don't want
'cause-
to talk about nothing. This whole episode has been about you.
and that's what I don't like. That's what I don't
kidding.
like. I don't
Bro,
like
but people
to
are
be
eating
the
this up.
center,
There might
bro.
be people out there who relate to you.
They might
though.
need it. I mean, go
Yeah.
do if you want to do acting, do it. You know what I mean? It was fun when I was on set to stuff because
I find that
learned.
very interesting. I had no idea you played guitar and sing, bro. That's dope.
Don't put the sing in there. I played guitar. I wasn't much of a singer.
Not the singing, but the writing poetry.
The writing and the
songwriting.
guitar, I was really like I loved that. I had a passion for.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not even lying. Like I used to write like poems for guys to give the girls.
Yeah.
Like that was a thing. That was like a little
Glad you
side
did
hustle
it
I had,
to
bro.
give with girls.
Yeah.
But I never used it myself.
For guys, give to other guys.
Yeah.
Bro, love.
But realistically, I was really giving it to him, saying give it to your girl, but no, it was for him. He just never got the hint.
That's why every poem was so passionate.
With my cologne on there.
right. Bro's like putting on lipstick.
God.
He's like, where did these kisses come from? Like,
Where's there
bro,
saliva on there? I was in the next part of the joke. But yeah.
I'm telling you, I think I got like one or two things in some USB drive in my drawer. So
I would respect you a lot if you don't show that to anybody, though. For real. Like, I know I can joke around, but like, give me some time to even get over that huddle. Yeah. I know you have my
next
TV,
month.
because I know you have my TV interview.
Next Monday.
Yeah.
That's 7 days. That's a lot.
I got a TV interview
Yes, a
of
TV
him.
interview, yeah. Where they made me sing there. I didn't want to. I was just gonna be like, because we were promoting the LA,
Yeah.
the county fair, and then
What is it recorded on? Like a camcorder or
No,
a cell phone?
it was I just screen record on my laptop.
it was a local LA news station early in the morning, like 6
And I
a.m.
actually, man, we'll talk about it. No, I'll talk about it another time.
Yeah, not on camera, but yeah.
It's another story.
I'm not ready to release any of that yet. You know, insecurities come up and like, you know, stuff like that comes up. So because I guess I became pretty popular, right? Back home, like everyone's like, "Oh shoot, he's doing this," and then like I just fall off the face of the earth, and I'm like, "Hey, welcome to where I work at. How can I assist you?" You know what I mean? And so like stuff like that, and it sucks, bro, because I came
I was
back.
like, he was on the set with Kevin Hart, and now he's taking our burger order. Like,
We must be on camera too.
Is he here?
I don't work for a burger place, by the way. But yeah,
not that there's anything wrong with.
there is
working
nothing
for-
wrong with that.
Right.
Shout out Five Guys all day. That's where I
Please.
got my start.
Wendy's.
That's where I met my wife.
Burger King.
That's our
That's where I
sponsor
met my
for today.
wife. Five Guys, baby.
If you want to, please do. We need new cameras.
God. See, this is why I like talking about it, because I feel like it's like I don't like to gloat, man. I don't know.
Who cares, bro? It's part of your
I
life. It's part of
care.
your story.
Yeah.
I guess.
And you've learned from it, and it made you part of the man who you are
Yeah.
now. And ultimately, you're successful because you found an amazing woman that's gonna love you forever, and you have two beautiful kids.
Bam.
Who cares?
Tell him
God, I'll
straight.
kiss you right now.
Tell him
Mark.
straight.
Yeah, you got it, bro. You're winning. You won the lottery.
And that's another thing. Going back to that is that we have a very close friend of ours who told me, I won't say his name, but I remember I called him one time because I was just like venting, like, dude, like I don't know what I'm doing wrong, like I'm failing or something, right? And he legit told me. He said, "What do you mean? You have what other guys want.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
You have a family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're married. You have a wife that loves you. You have kids. You have a stable job. You have it. What do you mean?" And that's when, like, I'm new to this contentment stuff.
Right.
I really am. I'm like fresh into that
Mm-hmm.
because I was never content. I always wanted more. I wanted to do more, but in doing that, it affected my people, my family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I felt like, oh, looking at it back now, I'm like, oh, all this stuff I did, like I moved my wife to LA even though she didn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I basically forced her,
Yeah.
like ultimatum style. Like what? Selfish, you know what I mean? But looking back now, I'm like, I'm very content, you know, regardless of my anxiety attacks, which I know are like, you know, just in my head. But like my real life, life is what I'm content with, and I'm
Yeah.
cool with it, you know. And everything else is just extra to me at this point, right? And then now talking to you guys, I want to play guitar again. Jeez,
Yeah, let's get her done.
Let's go jam.
God, I just need to buy a guitar. I honestly,
Let's plan a
Somebody
set for my
get-
next birthday, bro.
Get Guitar Hero.
Jay, can
and-
we use your spot?
Absolutely.
We have the party here, man. We'll set up. I'll bring my bass. We'll get some pads out there, some DJ equipment.
Ooh, let's go.
when's your birthday?
January 14th.
I got time.
That's what I'm saying.
Mine's
That's
the
a long time.
18th. You know.
So January is
When's
what?
mine, Hedda?
Oh dang it.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
Very next podcast, new member.
This would never guess my birthday right
It's
now.
September 17th.
Nah. Well, I think that does it, right, guys?
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that was
You
great.
know?
That's it.
So,
Love doing this with you, fellas.
yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Go Dodgers all day, baby.
I'm definitely cutting that.
Yeah.